Alright, what's going on out there, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I clean my ductless air conditioning unit. I have a Mitsubishi. This would be this really close to the same way, other than maybe taking it apart a little bit on any other unit out there. They're all real similar. But these are some of the things I'm going to use during my cleaning. I have a cover that's going to go around the air conditioning unit, so when you're spraying water on and cleaner, you don't get it all over your floor. And I'm going to put this down in the description if you want to look this up to see what kind of cover I got. It's going to work real nice. And you're going to need a Phillips and flathead screwdriver. Most likely a number 2. Just normal Phillips and flathead. Maybe a little container to put your screws in so you don't use any. A few old towels. A bucket. And I'm going to use a pump sprayer. You could also maybe use your hose if you can get your hose in the house and turn your pressure way down on your hose. You're not going to want full pressure. You're going to fill your bucket up pretty quick. And some cleaner. I got this foaming cleaner off of Amazon. I'm going to also have this down in the description, along with another brand that I'm seeing a lot of the guys that are buying another brand to clean their evaporators. And I'm going to use some Simple Green. I mixed it up in this container. I put 5 ounces of Simple Green, and then I filled it up to the 25-ounce mark with water. And I may use my shop vac. Well, mine's not a shop vac, it's a rigid vac, but you know what I mean, a shop vac. I might use that inside, depends on how dirty it is. But I definitely am going to use that on my condensate line that drains the water out of this evaporator. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is lay down a few towels in case I do get a little water splashed. I'll save this one in case I got to wipe anything up. And I got my bucket. And I guess I forgot to tell you, you might want a stool. Then before you start anything, you're going to have to turn off your breaker. I would turn your AC off and then go shut your breakers off so you don't have no power in this unit. You're not going to want to be spraying water or cleaner around that if you have power in it. So I guess I recommend maybe doing this in the morning or cool your house down real good before you do it. Alright, now first I'm going to open this door up here. This is what you should be doing this at least every month, if not a couple times a month. I can tell mine are a little dirty. I must have gotten busy. These are really dirty in my bedroom. Now we can take these 2 louvers off. There's a little thing right here in the middle. You're going to slide it to the right. And there's one on the left side, slide to the right. And that should slide right off. The top one is bigger than the bottom one. Just set that aside, slide that, and it slides right off. There's a hole right here that it slides over a piece here on the right. Now I can shut this. Take these little tabs off right here. You may have 2. You might have, if you have a little bit bigger Mitsubishi, you might have one in the middle. Throw them in that little container I told you should maybe have so you don't lose them. And take these 2 screws out. Now your cover should be loose. I guess that just comes right off there. But the top, there's I think 3 or 4 little spots it'll clip in. I'll show you when I get this off. You might have to stick your hand up on top and push down on it. I'll show you here in a sec. Okay. See at the top has these little clips. 1, 2, 3, 4 on mine. I think this is a 9,000 BTU, and I have another 12,000, but the 12,000's just like it. But you might have to put your hand up there and push down on it a little bit if you have trouble getting that off. And that'll come right off. And we'll take this outside and spray that off. Alright, before you start tearing the left side of this apart, reach up in there and spin this blower wheel. You're going to see a spot you can get your screwdriver up in. There's a set screw up in there on the right side. You got to loosen up. Not take out, loosen up right there. See that opening? It's a lot bigger All right, there's a screw up in there. You gotta loosen up. Now I'm gonna take these 3 screws out. There's a screw here, and one back in here. This will let the evaporator come forward so I can get that fan wheel out to clean it. Now this whole piece right here, this is your drip pan where all your condensate drips into and should be running outside. Just pull that out, pull this one out, pull this one out. That'll loosen that up. Now that's loose. There may be water down inside this, so be careful. I mean, you have your bucket and your towels, but there's still water in mine. Soak some of this out so I don't get water everywhere. Be careful of these fins also on your evaporator coil. They're real thin. You don't want to be messing all them up. We're going to try to clean all this out too. Now this evaporator should come forward. There. Just be very careful pulling that forward. Don't pull on it too hard. You only want to pull this out just enough just so you can get your blower wheel out. This is the bearing right here on your blower wheel. You pull out on that. Now this should drop right down. That's what my blower wheel looks like from my other one. I'm doing 2 at the same time right now. That blower wheel is pretty bad. All right, I'm gonna take my cover, my filters, and my blower wheel outside and spray them off so that way this can all dry while I clean out the last couple things inside. All right, I'm just gonna spray some of this Simple Green on my blower wheels just to help get these things cleaned out good. When you're cleaning these, also be careful. There's little weights on these. Don't mess with them weights. All right, while all that stuff's drying outside, I'm gonna clean up inside here with some of this Simple Green. Spray a little up in there. This is the one in my bedroom. This one ain't so bad. Clean your drip pan out. Now I'm going to temporarily put this back up in place. There. I'm going to put one of these screws back in just for now. Now you can skip this part if you want, if you think your evaporator ain't that dirty, but I'm just trying to do a full cleaning to show you guys. That goes on like that. It comes with these little plastic pieces that'll say back waterproofing. And there's a big one that says front. I'm not using the one for on the front. These will slide up in behind it so you don't get anything on the wall. And there's some Velcro that sticks on. And your hose goes down in your bucket, so that'll catch all your dirty water. And you take your cleaner and spray all over it. Now, a lot of this is going to go right down your drain, unless you take your drain completely off. So it's also going to help clean your drain out. And when I'm done, I'm going to dump a little of that Simple Green and suck that drain out. Now let that sit on there for maybe 5-10 minutes till this all dissolves in there. And you could leave it like that if you want. Now I'm going to spray it off with some water. That's why I got my pump sprayer. I don't think because I left my drip pan on, much is going to go down in here. But this just helps from when you're spraying that stuff in there. It doesn't go over my walls, and it definitely will help if you have a hose, because you're going to have a little more pressure with a hose. All right, that's been about 10 minutes. Now I'm going to spray mine off. I didn't hook the wand up to my sprayer. Well, I don't know if you always need this, but it definitely helped keep some of that from spraying all over my ceiling and my walls. Some of it went in here. I'm going to take this off and let this dry a little bit. Now is nice and sparkly clean. That's what the water looks like that came out of my evaporator, so it was definitely dirty. I could probably do that a couple times. Now I'm going to take my condensate drain line, which should be right on the other side of the wall on any of your units, if that's how they set it up. And I'm going to put mine in my shop vac hose, and that way it'll give it some real good suction on this. And I'm going to go dump a little more of that simple green down in there to clean this hose out real good, because I'm sure there's a little bit of mold in there from all the water being in it. Alright, I think that's just going to make sure my hose is definitely cleared out. You don't want that to ever get clogged up, or all this water is going to eventually start dripping in your house. So this cleaning I'm doing should probably be done, I would say, at least once a year, if not twice a year sometimes. Depends on where you live and how hard you're using the air conditioner. If it's a real humid summer, it might need done twice a year. But once you do this a couple times, it's really not that hard. All right, that's good. I'm gonna go out and turn my shop vac off. Let's take this little screw back out that I temporarily put back in. You might not have to do that if you don't think it's gonna fall. This drain pan hooks right in up behind this lip right here on the left. That's why I gotta take the clip out on the bottom first to pull that out. You might have a little bit of water in there from cleaning it. Might not hurt even if you have your shop vac up here to suck that out. Make sure you take your filter out of your shop vac. I'm going to put my blower wheel in. This hole where this bearing is has to go over the shaft on the right hand side. Don't forget to put your other bearing back on when you get it in there. This might be easier to get lined up if you got two people. There we go. That should slide right in there. Should spin pretty freely. Make sure you have it on that shaft far enough that it's not rubbing against this plastic. And when you're lining this drip pan up, right up here on the right hand side, this side piece here should go on the left side of that little lip there. And then these little nubs should line right up. Same thing here. This piece right here will go right in there, just to help you line it up. Oh, and like I said, this little piece here clips in behind that. Almost seems like you got to do this all a little bit at the same time. That's why I said it might be easier with two people. There we go. All right, now I'm going to put these 3 screws back in here. Make sure your bearing is in there correctly. And I think this little screw should go in the top. I have this little magnetic piece. I'm going to get it started. And then the 2 longer screws should go here. Now don't forget that's plastic, so don't put that in there real tight, just so they're snug. And snug that top one up too. You don't gotta go He-Man on them. Does anybody remember He-Man? All right, another thing too I probably should have said in the beginning is all your electronics are here on the right side, so when you're spraying that cleaner in your water, be real careful not to get a lot of water on this spot. And we did turn the electricity off. All right, now these, don't forget these 4 tabs in here. Try to slide in. You can, if you look at the top, you'll see where they slide into. I'm going to put these 2 screws in the front back in. Don't forget, if you have a 3rd one, put that back in. Your little fancy covers. And the louvers. Slide the right hand side. This is where the motor is on it. Slide it right over that. You're going to see there's a little keyhole here. That's got to go in there. It only slides on there one way. Open this back up. And slide your filters in that you should be cleaning at least once a week. Especially if your AC is running hard. Clip down the both right and left side, and don't forget to clip down the center. Now we can go turn on the breaker, turn this back on and see if she's working correctly. All right, my AC's working good. I hope this video helped you out. Please leave me a thumbs up, a comment down below. That helps YouTube promote my videos. God bless, and have a nice cool summer.